Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft, and I mock and giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Today we look at CBS's new mock draft, because they have the finest of mock drafts. This one includes some trades too, so, because I took a look at the first two picks, and I was like, okay, hold on, this ain't the draft order, and then it's like, okay, cool. But yeah, we're taking a look at Ryan Wilson's. Go ahead, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful, sensual football discourse, baby. Currently watching the Air Force Louisville game, and Air Force is up 14-0. Kind of wild. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. If you didn't know, now you know. Until the new year starts, promo code ALLBRO25 gets you 25% off at the merch shop. So check that out. As well as, yeah, I guess a little plan for the week is we'll have another Mock the Mock tomorrow, and then I'm going to give my biggest risers and biggest fallers have those two different videos, like who's risen the most from each position group and who's fallen the most. So that ought to be a load of fun. But I guess let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of things. If you didn't know, I got a mock draft out on the channel from yesterday, exploring different options. It was an interesting one, I'll say that. Was it my finest work? No, my finest work is ahead of me, but it was interesting. I like exploring different options. I think it's fun to look at the different possibilities. But let's go ahead and run through this. The first pick is the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously, and they're going with Aiden Hutchinson. Not much to talk about here. Take the best player on your board. If it's not a QB, and obviously this quarterback class is kind of weird, it's kind of sus. Still think we'll probably see one in the top 10. There has to be a team that bites. I don't think this class is nearly as bad as was it the 2015 class that had EJ Manuel. Not positive, but yeah, in this case it's Aiden Hutchinson. And then we get a trade up. The Giants trade up to 2. I'm interested to see what they did to get here. I don't think he lists what exactly they traded for. I imagine since this quarterback class isn't nearly as good as the one from the 2018 season that had Murray. No, that had it was Darnold and Baker, Lamar, and Rosen, and Josh Allen, of course. But yeah, so I don't nearly think it's just simply it's not going to be a swap first rounders and then give away 3 second rounders. I think it'll probably be a little bit less, as you saw in my mock, but kind of interested in what the value will be there. Who am I to talk about trade value after some of the trades I made? I'm not gonna lie. I go back and I look at that the Raiders Cardinals trade. I was like, man, yeah, I should have looked at that Vikings Jets trade from just this past draft and used similar value there. But it is what it is. But they trade up to get KT. That's kind of awesome. Again, I would really love to know the trade value, but you gotta think they keep their other first rounder. They almost have to. I'm kind of curious. It feels like they have to go offensive line with how just terrible the offensive line is. I mean, you almost feel like Daniel Jones, for how well he kind of succeeded despite everything going on around him, kind of seeing other quarterbacks. I know it's Mike Glennon. I know it's Jake Fromm, but seeing them struggle to such a degree that, okay, maybe Daniel Jones just ain't that bad. They say they're going to give him another run. Him and Judge got one more year. So, I don't know. We'll see. Let's go on to the next pick. I haven't seen anything outside of this. These were the first 2 picks I looked at. Houston keeps their pick. They go Derek Stingley. I think you can make a really good case about Evan Neal. He kind of brings up Kyle Hamilton, but we all know about safety value. I do think at pick 4, Hamilton does become an interesting option. But in the first 3, it just doesn't feel like that's something they would do. But getting Derek Stingley over like Evan Neal, kind of like you want to protect your quarterback of the future, whether that is Davis Mills, who has actually looked pretty decent this year at times, but especially considering the lack of experience, lack of dropbacks he had there back at Stanford. But going Stingley, I think is a bit interesting. Of course, everything needs to check out with the ankle first, but let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. Jets, I imagine this is Evan Neal. Icky! They go Sticky Icky! Some people have been really like in the comments talk about how they don't like Icky. I get it, dude. Everyone has their own opinion. To each their own. We're all gonna like different prospects, especially this edge class. The way we're gonna rank them, it's gonna be wild. We're gonna it's just so stacked that we're gonna not see eye to eye on a lot on how we rank some of these guys, and that's the fun of this whole thing. But they go Icky. That's interesting. Just because Evan Neal, he has experience on the right side. I mean, I'd feel a little bit better about that, knowing that he could play right or left, while Icky's only played left. I mean, both at guard and at tackle this year, but man, his play has been so good. Yeah, it's intriguing. I'm not opposed to this, I suppose. But let's keep rolling. I imagine Evan Neal should come off the board fairly soon. This is the Lions. They go Kyle Hamilton, so they trade down to get Kyle Hamilton. They get some extra picks. We know the safety position is kind of the weakest part of that secondary. While we've seen some guys excel at the corner position there at Detroit, that there is some encouragement for the future. They have a lot of good young players that are starting to develop or just started their development there in Detroit. That, yeah, I feel like you want to go defense, it's probably safety, linebacker, and edge. Those are kind of like the three spots. I feel like they really addressed the interior this past draft with Levi Ozarike and Aleem McNeil. So yeah, we'll see. Will Harris, I'm pretty sure they move him to corner, or maybe that was just for a game. I'm not positive. Oh, excuse me. So this is Carolina's pick coming up, by the way. And they don't go quarterback. While quarterback would make all the sense, I don't disagree with that. Evan Neal's on the board. Go tackle. I mean, a lot of people want to trade down, but you got to understand, you need a suitor for a trade down. You need someone to trade with if you're going to trade back. And unless someone's really sold on this quarterback class, I don't see the Panthers being in a position where they can trade back, especially with Neal now off the board. I think that makes it a lot harder. Do you trade up for a Karlaftis? I don't think so. Do you trade up for a Linderbaum? No. It's really, so if someone's trading up, it's a quarterback. But getting quarterback class is kind of interesting. But they take tackle here. I don't know why. They list Icky at OT, but they're going to list Evan Neal as an offensive lineman. I feel like that should go vice versa, because it's really Icky that's like, can he stick at tackle in the NFL, which I think he can, but I just find that very interesting. All right, this pick's from Seattle. Obviously, it's the Jets. Who do they go with their next pick? Nakobe Dean, I get it. Linebacker is kind of a bad position for the Jets. Probably their worst position on defense. But do you go linebacker? It's not like you're getting a Micah Parsons in Nakobe Dean. He's not that type of, like, he's a very good athlete, but also Micah Parsons was a much bigger athlete with his athleticism. So I don't know if I'm going to say Nakobe Dean's in that position here. Like, if I'm the Jets, I guess I'm trading down. But again, you need a suitor, someone who wants to trade up. And I don't know if I'd really do that. What are other alternatives? Because they get Dean, they get Icky. Oh, this is tough. This is actually a tough spot for the Jets. You could swing for the fences on one of the receivers. I mean, Karlaftis, Saleh, man, they really believe in pass rush. It really helps out with the cornerbacks, the corners there. Because, I mean, people mention, like, Saleh, like, back in San Fran, they had the mindset of, you know, they can pick up good cornerback value in day 2, day 3. So if they have a mean pass rush is one of the things they just preached at San Fran. and it made the jobs for the corners a lot easier. So Karlaftis, I think, could be the pick here instead of a Dean. I'd also consider one of the receivers. Pick 8. This is the Giants. Cross. Yep, Charles Cross. Do we need to talk about it? Offensive line not so good? Yeah, okay, cool. Again, listed at O-line. What the heck is that? Interesting. Oh, this is Washington's pick. Matt Corral is the first quarterback off the board. I guess, can we talk real quick about Matt Corral? I'm, like, the more I, like, kind of go back and I look at how I want to rank these quarterbacks, the one that I keep coming to with, like, the most questions about out of, like, which I would say would be my tier 1 quarterbacks, where it would be Howe, Willis, and Pickett. And then Corral, I feel like just he doesn't have like the high end upside of a guy like Malik Willis. I think he got a safer prospect in Pickett, who's more pro ready, while Corral, I don't think he is coming out of Lane Kiffin's offense. And then like when it comes to Howe, like Sam Howe just has like I think the more accurate arm downfield. But, and like, for me, it's like Corral just kind of starts slipping in my mind. And I'm starting to kind of hold him in regard to that tier 2. Not to say like his upside's bad. It's not. It's just like, I don't know. I find myself falling more out of love with him. I love this guy's competitiveness though. Like this guy gets heated. He was like when like Baker at Oklahoma. That's kind of like the type of competitiveness he has, while some people look like, yeah, Baker was a bit of a hothead. I wouldn't say Corral's so much of a hothead. Not if we're comparing him to Baker, but you do see that competitiveness. But Washington going quarterback makes sense. Hey, if this is the top quarterback on your board, go for it. He just ends up being the one I kind of fall out of love with. Pick 10. Atlanta Falcons receiver, maybe? No, they go Kenny Pickett. They go quarterback of the future. Look at me trying to guess. They go quarterback of the future. They get Pickett. I don't think they have to go quarterback of the future. I get it. That I think Matt Ryan's contract it's hard to move. Like I think like Ryan Wilson says in here, his contract, it means he's likely back for 2020. Pickett's the most pro ready. I don't know why you would grab Pickett of all guys. Why not take guys like Sam Howell and Malik Willis, who might have the better upside, while Pickett might just translate a bit better and just be a more safe alternative pick. He's a guy that can succeed in the NFL. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying he doesn't have that upside. In terms of Sam Howell, I think has more of a rocket arm. I think he's a bit more accurate downfield. And then obviously Willis, just mobility, like, is a monster. But for me, pass rush and wide receiver. I don't know why some Falcon fans don't think wide receiver is a need, because when you're saying, no, dude, Russell Gage is the man, dude, don't be sleeping. It's like, I'm not sleeping. You got a very good slot guy there, but you need someone on the outside, especially if Calvin Ridley doesn't come back. So I'm starting to like the idea of receiver a lot as well. All right, let's try to guess this next pick. I think it's the Broncos quarterback, because all of them are still left on the board. No, they go Karlaftis. This one's interesting. They'll have Bradley Chubb back. Malik Reed, I think, is a very good rotation guy. And who's the other cat they got there? Jonathan Cooper's pretty showed out. I think he's played pretty well as a late round pick in his rookie season, to where it's like it's such a stacked edge class. Can we go edge maybe later on? Do we really need to go there when quarterback's such a bad need? I mean, I get the idea that they're going to get a quarterback. If they're going to take one, it's probably going to be like a Wilson or a Aaron Rodgers. They're probably going to be in the sweepstakes for that. So, yeah, I'm not in love with that. Let's keep rolling. I'm about to have to blow my nose real quick. This is the Minnesota Vikings. Corner has kind of been like the ideal spot right now for the Vikings, just because it looks like corner after Derek Stingley looks like the top corners when the rest of them start coming off the board around this 12th pick. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go elsewhere here. But they do go with corner. Andrew Booth called the position. honestly, this corner class is very similar to edge class, at least when it comes to the top, where like we're gonna have a lot of guys ranked in different ways. Like Sauce is my guy. That could change this Friday, man. Alabama versus Cincinnati, that can change. A lot can change. So we'll see about that. But Booth, I get it. He ended the year pretty hot. And he's going to test out extremely well. And just corner's such a... They have one of the worst, I think, depth groups there. Obviously, Gladney no longer with the team. Patrick Peterson, 1-year deal. Breland's already off the team. Mackenzie Alexander's a free agent. You're really left there with just Cameron Dantzler, and if you want to count Chris Boyd, I won. All right, next pick is the Cleveland Browns. I thought it was the Dolphins. I forgot the Dolphins keep winning. That's right, baby. 7-game win streak. Receiver feels plausible here. No receivers gone off the board yet. Yep, Garrett Wilson. One of the more complete receivers in this draft. Probably the most complete receiver in this draft. Not really too many holes to his game. He could do a little bit of everything. He's shown the after the catch ability. I wouldn't mind if he put on a little bit more bulk to be a better contested catch guy, but I think he's been pretty decent at the contested catch this past year. That's just kind of nitpicking. This one's from Miami, so it's the Eagles. Eagles first pick. Who do they go here? There's a bevy of receivers. Ojabo's still on the board. They could go linebacker. They got 3 picks. You gotta imagine maybe they address linebacker with one of those picks. Corner could be it here. Depending on how Wilson sees this corner class. Let's say Ojabo and then maybe corner. Oh no, it's Lloyd. Okay, we mentioned it. We mentioned Lloyd. Yeah, it's the worst position group on their whole roster, linebacker. I get it, they haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round in 40 years, but hey man, it has to happen sometime, so this year might be the year when they have 3 first rounders. So tell me, I just gotta say, Ryan, if you're gonna have a trade at 2, you gotta I expect to see more trades. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll see more trades in this mock. Saints, this has to be receiver. I'm not even going to look. Jameson Williams. Makes a ton of sense. Do we really need to talk about it? They get a guy that is an actual deep threat. Callaway and Smith haven't really lived up to that billing. While Callaway, I think, is still a solid receiver to have, Williams really gives you that explosiveness. So let's keep rolling. Keep rolling. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. No, Tyler Linderbaum. Yeah, that's the other pick. That makes a ton of sense. I think you could also say Kenyon Green, Linderbaum, and then obviously quarterback. I just made this pick in my mock, which you haven't checked out. Shoot, go check it out. It's fun at the very least, but yeah, okay. I don't mind this as much. I think if they don't land like a Russell Wilson, they probably land maybe a Derek Carr. The Raiders might be looking to blow things up at this point. They've just been mediocre for so long. And Steelers really just need a guy that could come in and efficiently help move the offense, especially if, I don't think if you trade for Carr, you're not going to be able to keep that first rounder. Carr is going to be, with how team friendly the rest of his contract is, Derek Carr is going to... I think Derek Carr could go for 2 first-rounders, really. Maybe throw in another day 2 pick. Maybe you could get away with him, a first-rounder and a day 2. But I really think he's going to end up costing 2 first-rounders at least. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, we got the Chargers. This is a popular Jordan Davis spot because the run defense is just bad, but they do sell out to stop the pass. They sell out on the run. So I think we could see corner, because I think Michael Davis is really kind of in a down year. And then I think Kenyon Green still be on the board. He could be an option as well. Oh, they're going Ojabo. Okay, to be fair, the edge rush they have is Joey Bosa, and that's it. So getting someone opposite of Joey Bosa would not be a bad idea, and being opposite of Joey Bosa, I think makes Ojabo's job a lot easier because he is a guy that's really just seen significant snaps this year. I like this whole guessing game we're doing. All right, we got the Raiders. I honestly like the idea of corner here because Casey Hayward, he's coming off a down year, playing real well this year. You don't know, he's an older guy. You don't know when that down year, you don't know when his play will go back to declining. Mullen is good. You got, obviously Hobbs is good, but the depth there is terrible. Linebacker is not in the cards at this point. Kenyon Green's also would make sense. So I like corner. I could see Kenyon Green though. You could also make a case for receiver. So what are they doing? They're going receiver. Treylon Burks. I'm telling you, if this cat tests out like how I think he is, I think there's a chance, man, he sneaks in the top 15. Like, it really depends on how he tests out. You think teams are going to pass up on Burks and Claypool after how they've seen those guys play? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Who's the next pick? This is the Eagles again, right? Yeah, it's the Eagles again. Corner? You jump? I think you jump on corner, right? McCreary. Okay, McCreary is a fun fit for the Eagles. I did this in my other mock, which I should stop talking about so you could go check the video out yourself, but it is what it is. Because he's a guy that I think could play in a lot of different schemes, while like athletically, he okay, exactly like Ryan says here, lacks the high-end athleticism of guys like Booth, Stingley, but the production's just been off the charts for him this year. He's good. He's good. All right. Who do we got next? I think Ravens, right? Yeah, Ravens. Kenyon Green, honestly, is a real sexy pick here. I don't know if I'm looking anywhere else. Kenyon Green, prospect rank 41. What the hell? Who do they got at 41? Kyer Elam. Wow, they're down on Elam. Like, I think Elam's in a down year. I mean, that whole Gator team, though, kind of played pretty bad during the second half of the season, but I don't think he's in that down of a year to be prospect 41. Jeez Louise. More cornerback depth is always a great thing to have. Young is about to hit free agency. Marcus Peters and, oh my gosh, how can I forget him? I love him. Marlon Humphrey, he's awesome. Those are two guys that they like to move into the slot occasionally. So Elam's a guy you can keep on the outside. And, oh, golly. You also got Jimmy Smith, but, yeah, Jimmy Smith, final year of his deal. He's pretty old. So, yeah, no, corner makes sense. Makes sense. I'm interested when Kenyon Green comes off the board here. This is the Dolphins. I swear, if it's Kenyon Green, like, I'm not opposed to. I would really like a receiver. You got Olave and London here. Like, Green's going to be good, man, but it's just like, I really don't want to get younger on the offensive line and just get Tua murdered again in year 2. Then again, we have a ton of cap space. Should be making a lot of moves in free agency, so let's see what they do here. Kenyon Green, okay, yeah, a guy that can play anywhere on the offensive line. That really helps out a ton. If they need to make some additions in free agency to really help out this line. Because, again, I don't like the youth and inexperience. I think it's really been hurting Tua. So, yeah, I mean, that's why they're running such a RPO-heavy scheme. And, I mean, when you have a guy like Waddle on the outside that gets so much, like, separation, like, you could really rip off some deep, deep gains if you have the time to allow him to get that separation. So, I'm not opposed to it. Green, I like Green a lot too. Next pick here, we got the Patriots go anywhere. Just show me who it is. Chris Olave, okay. Yeah, Aguilera hasn't really been it for this team. They've really opted for Bourne and Myers are kind of like the top guys there. Myers the final year of his rookie deal. I wonder they should pay him, man. He's been pretty solid. Get Olave in there in the mix, who's a pretty good route runner. A lot of people just think he's a burner, but that's not really the case. He is actually a very complete route runner as well. Just doesn't do a lot after the catch. But he gives you that ability to separate downfield. So, yeah, no other trades thus far in this mock, mind you. Just one trade. Where are the balls? No balls. This is the Eagles pick. They could go anywhere. They went corner. They went, who was their first pick? Corner, linebacker. So edge. Maybe we see edge come off the board here. Oh, no, they go Daxton Hill. Daxton Hill's going to be interesting. Can he sneak into the first round? Wolverines have played him primarily in the slot, but he's a guy that can, he's a guy with such good range. He's such a great athlete. He doesn't mind coming up playing the run. I think he'd be a very good replacement for Anthony Harris, who leaves in free agency after this season. So I'm not opposed to it. I'm just kind of intrigued. This safety class is actually pretty darn good. Like, I think you could see guys like Brisker, Battle, really come off the board here as well. All right, pick 24 is the Cardinals. Drake London would be fun, but I'd rather get a guy that can probably separate downfield rather than just a contested catch guy downfield. We could go edge, defensive line. I don't think offensive line's out of the cards either. Maybe corner. Because who's left in the cornerback class right now? Sauce is left. They go Logan Hall. Listen, I like Logan Hall. He ain't Peyton Turner. They opted to keep Logan Hall in the interior. He put on weight. He put on like 15 pounds apparently this off season. I didn't really notice like the weight gain this year, but I did notice that they kept him on the inside, on the interior. He might be one of these guys that could probably play like a 3-tech. Did I say? Yeah, he could play 3-tech. He could play that 4-tech, that like 3-4 end position. So I got this guy listed as a day 2 though. So maybe I'm just not. Do I even? I think I have him as no. I have him at the end of the 3rd round. I think that's my current grade on him. I can't remember, but yeah. This ain't my cup of tea, especially over a guy like DeMarvin Leal. Believe me, I don't think that his little run-in with the law for his his high school misdemeanor type of crime is gonna cost him. I'm just gonna say that. It's not like he's got the gas mask tape that Laramie Tunsil had. All right, 25 is the Bills. There's not a guard that I like at this position. So Jordan Davis probably be a popular. I'm gonna go Jordan Davis. I'm not even gonna think the rest of it out. I think they go Jordan Davis. Oh, Trent McDuffie, dude! I was kind of talking about it in my mock where I was like, I kind of went into the mock saying, hey, I'm gonna have Trent McDuffie sit this mock out because teams, depending on how they view him, because it's not like he's got like elite speed. It's not like his length is going to be that good. He is a bit on the smaller size, but I mean, there's schemes in the NFL. I don't really care about that. Brandon Staley doesn't really care about size, as you saw with the Rams, as we've seen with the Chargers this year. And he's just a good scheme fit for McDermott, man. So, yeah, no, I like that. So, but I kind of played with the idea in my mock that, hey, maybe teams view him more as this slot box safety hybrid, But, nah, he's still like cornerback 3 or 4 for me. And then I think the next would be the Cardinals, actually. No, it's the Bengals. I guess you reach for an offensive lineman here. You could. I mean, I imagine a guy like Bernard or Bernhard, Raymond, and Trevor Penning are in the cards here. I really think those 2 guys are going to have really good Senior Bowls. Let's see. Who else? Corner, obviously. Only other corner left on the board here is Sauce. Yeah, let's go. I think they go with Sauce. They go with the other Cincinnati prospect. Darian Kennard, man. A lot of people really love this cat. I like him as a 2nd rounder, but I don't see him as a 1st rounder. Like, I don't think they even put tackle. Like, I think this guy's a guard in the NFL. Especially in that outside blocking scheme, I'd rather have him at guard. I don't think he's playing tackle. And like, if he plays tackle, it's going to be more for these inside zone, heavy blocking schemes, maybe even these gap blocking schemes. So you could even a team like the Broncos, who has that kind of like that pull in blocking scheme, kind of like there would be a good fit. Not saying that that's somewhere they should go, because I think they have a lot of good players there at guard. But yeah, not in love with this. This might be actually my least favorite pick thus far in the draft. Like Logan Hall, I get it. Some teams are really high on him. Kennard, I'm not. I'm just not there. I'm just not. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they could go anywhere. Just tell me. John Dotson, Jordan Davis. So this is going to be the Sue replacement. You're going to have two big boys like Vita Vea and Jordan Davis in the middle. That's kind of fun. But I feel like we've seen what happens to that Bucs offense when they don't have a guy that can separate. Like in the Saints game when Godwin went down and AB was unavailable, like that, the offense was just like non-existent. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from the Saints. Like, that's a really good defense. That's a Super Bowl defense. It's a shame their offense, is not that good. But I don't know, man. I think Dotson wouldn't be a bad selection here. I know they got Darden, but let's be honest about Darden. It looks like the Bucs kind of view him as a special team player only. He's not really been involved in the offense. Especially after Godwin went down, you'd expect him to get more snaps, but he didn't really. No other trades, mind you. So this is Detroit's other pick. Drake London's on the board. You could go with another There hasn't been a quarterback since Matt Corral. No, Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral. So you still got Willis. You still got Sam Howell. It's Malik Willis. Okay. I think this is interesting. I think actually Sam Howell's the better fit. But I mean, Malik Willis on the board, like the upside for him is just insane. He might have the strongest arm in the class. I think it's just really because Howell seems more pro ready. I really think Willis ends up going in the top like 15. Unless he just totally bobs at the Senior Bowl. Because the decision making is the big thing. The big thing with him, he gets to sit behind Goff. Because I don't think he's a guy that can start right away. It's interesting. I kind of like this. It's definitely interesting. All right. 29's the Titans. I think Drake London still is kind of more to the same of what they have there at receiver. If anything, I'm looking for like maybe a Dotson. So maybe it's Dotson here. Maybe edge. Because can they bring back Harold Landry? You could talk about offensive line, but they just started Quentin Raduns there at left tackle this past game and it went as well as you would imagine for a rookie going against Nick Bosa. Some people like guard. There's not really a guard I'm willing to take. Some people jumped Zion Nelson up here, or Zion Johnson, and I wish it was Zion Nelson, my boy. But I don't think Zion Johnson's a first rounder. Let's see. Kirkland. Oh, here's the big laugh here. Listen, O-line, I kind of agree. I think teams might look at Kirkland and view him more as a guard. He played really good at right guard in the 2019 season before moving to left tackle in 2020. But, dude, this year, man, it was really a bad year for him. I really think this cat really hurt his draft stock with games against like Michigan and such. So it's like, you just can't ignore that against NFL talent, man. Kirkland struggled. You just can't ignore that. Yeah, this ain't a good pick. Dotson going, what the hell, to Dallas? I would have never guessed it. This is, I guess, your Galloway replacement, but do you really need a Galloway replacement? Like, I'm addressing the defense with this pick. You still got Sauce is on the board. Get a shutdown corner next to Diggs, who's just this crazy playmaker. And this is kind of the beginning of kind of like what the Ravens have with Humphrey and Peters, obviously when healthy. So, dude, I don't like this pick. This one's it's the Chiefs, right? So Kingsley Nagbari, that's like one of my favorites. It won't surprise me if this is Drake London. Darion Kendrick, though, surprises the hell out of me. Listen, the corners there are solid. We've seen that defense. They've really stepped up because the pass rush started hitting home. Melvin Ingram has been everything, but Melvin Ingram's an older player on a one-year deal. You can't trust Frank Clark, and you need to just like Kingsley Enagbare, like Kendrick. There's a lot of like, and he even mentions it. You got to answer the off-field issues, but even then, I'm not taking him over Sauce. Did Sauce go and I not see it? I don't know, man. Drake London going to the London goes to the Packers. That one's an easy call. That's something I've been making, especially if Devontae doesn't return. I think the only way Devontae doesn't return if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return, but I think there might be a good chance he does. But if he doesn't, then yeah, you need to find a replacement for Adams, because I don't think he's coming back if it means no Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, anything else we get to see here? Nah. I'll say this. I didn't mind. Like, at first, I was like, you know what? This ain't a bad mock draft. I got to this pick, and I was like, you know what? I'm not in love with it, but I get some people are high on it. Even the Logan Hall pick, I was like, I get it. Some people are high on that cat. But then we went on a run from, like, 29. I saw Jackson Kirkland, like, bruh. Jahan Dotson. Bruh. I like Jahan, too. It's just, to the Cowboys? Nah, dude. And then Kendrick, I'm just like, come on, dude. Really started to poo-poo the draft. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I've been talking for long enough. This video will be out when it's out. Should be sometime today. I told you I'm currently watching the Louisville Air Force game. Finally, really actually getting down to sitting down and watching. What's that cat's name? Malik. Was it Cunningham? I don't think he comes out. I don't think he's complete as a passer, at least from what I've seen thus far of him. But I get why people really like him, man. As an athlete, holy freaking moly. But hey, 21-14. Got a hell of a game here going into halftime. But that's it for the video. Go ahead and do that YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.